Hi Pisces, this is a reading for you for the eclipse. So it's really what you can learn from the eclipse. And I'm using the Hermit card, which is the 2025 card of the year. And we're going to look at how it relates to the message for the eclipse. So what's your word? These are 12 words that I've written down that I attribute some meaning. And a lot of the words have repeated. You're the last sign I'm reading for. A lot of these words have repeated. I can't remember who else got sacrificed, but yeah, it's come up at least once. Apart from you, I think, maybe twice. Sorry. So, part of the task of the hermit, I guess, is to sacrifice. Perhaps it's sacrifice in a way of giving the wisdom and the knowledge to others. Perhaps there's something around that. For some reason I'm really getting wisdom with you. Perhaps sacrifice to gain the wisdom that you need. But let's have a look at the central card. So that's the Ace of Pentacles. Oops. The Two of Pentacles. The World card. In the recent past is the Queen of Wands. The Two of Wands. And the Seven of Swords. So what's coming towards you, and we're post-eclipse now, so you may be feeling it, is the Four of Cups, the Nine of Cups, and the Temperance card. Underneath the deck, the Emperor, and on top is the Moon. Okay, so what I'm noticing here is you've got two of each suit. So you've got Two of the Wands, Two of the Pentacles, and Two of the Cups. Interesting, up the top there. So in the past position, it looks like a real determination to win, to beat the odds. I'm seeing this partially as a loss, perhaps having to cut your losses and make a strategic exit. So you might have had to, there's some sort of loss. Maybe that's where the sacrifice comes in. Overall, though, I see this as a very strong energy with this Queen of Wands, as the ability to really fight whatever downer that would normally have caused, perhaps. And it's interesting because the World card here, this often represents like a major life, lesson, a major life lesson. So there's a lot of strength here. And this might be where this is by the cards where you're at, is the ability to, I really do see this as the ability to juggle, not so much challenges, difficulties, although this sometimes can mean sort of controlling emotions and having things going on in the background that they're really quite upsetting, and kind of keeping on with everyday life. There could be an aspect of that, but I kind of feel like, and it was a bit similar to the Aquarius reading, in that, you've got this, you've really got this. I don't see this card as being an energy of struggling. I see it as an energy of, I've got two pentacles to to juggle, and I'm doing it easily. Give me 3 and maybe I'll have a bit of a challenge. Well, there's your third pentacle. Um, so like Aquarius, it's like really ready to take that next step. And that's what I'm seeing with this. This is definitely an end of an era. You know, if we look at it in this direction, there's been some sort of loss. You've either made a strategic exit, or somebody else has been a bit of a shithead and, done the dirty on you. And I do see this excuse me, this figure as looking at, it's almost like looking at it, like, what the hell are you doing? Do that, but I don't care. I can go on and I can achieve. I can be myself. I can, I'm getting the words glow up. I hate that term, but that's what I've got. I can glow up on my own. I can grow up on my own, perhaps. I don't need whatever was taken from me, because those things don't matter. What matters is what I've got inside, and that knowledge, that wisdom that you've accumulated. So I'm seeing this major life lesson could in some ways be about sacrifice, what you have had to sacrifice. What has felt like a sacrifice in the past is no longer feeling like a sacrifice, or soon it won't feel like that. I'm going to draw another card on this final row column. Because there's a real change of energy there. Okay, yeah, it's interesting because sometimes it'd be good if you could, if I could just have my thoughts come out, but sometimes that'd be terrible, of course. But what I was thinking was, as I said, there's a change of energy. This is like a dissatisfaction here. It's like, oh, this is boring. And this is an energy of I guess, satisfaction in a way, but it's also an energy of, well, I need more than this. And this is kind of, can be, battling with, what is it? Sort of an excessive tendency to emotionalize. I don't even know if that's a word, but something that's simple or doesn't need to have emotion connected to it, or something that may, yes, it's natural to have some emotion connected to it. There could be a tendency in this card to really exaggerate that and to feel an excessive amount of emotion. So, this is quite unusual. So the Hermit card, I feel, is actually about sorting this feeling out. Okay, so I feel that you've had some sort of drama where there has been some loss and a sort of a bit of a lucky escape, but you've recovered from that possibly reasonably well, in a position to leave that behind and go for something better. But really, in a way, it's what is better. Are you at a stage where you're looking for challenges or stimulation to make your life more exciting or make your life more meaningful? Where the card here is the Hermit card, so you've got 2 hermits now. And the Hermit energy isn't really about stimulation, excitement, challenge in a way to feel better necessarily, or show an accomplishment, or tick the boxes. it's really about spiritual development. And it could be that you feel that on a spiritual level, well, you've come to a plateau. You've done this, you've had some spiritual awakening, and you've gone down the track of whatever, I don't know, what is it, conventional, oh shit, I can't speak properly tonight, steps that some people take. They're interested in crystals, they might be interested in transcendental meditation or whatever it is, looking for that level of excitement that perhaps you got when you first had the awakening, your awakening to spirit, and you're looking for, perhaps you looked for guidance to try and expand that. And there was it's almost like a euphoric sense of euphoria. I don't know, that's how I felt in the beginning anyway. And basically, that's all gone. I don't know whether it's just me, but it's all gone, and became, then the hard work starts. So this could be, I mean, just because, I've been in that situation doesn't mean that you are, but it could be in some ways where you're at. Because this is a dissatisfied card, and this is a card of, kind of staying within those boundaries, but kind of being happy about it. And this is the card of, well, what's happening now? Why do I feel like this? I'm trying to feel better, but what can help me to feel better? I haven't got that buzz. It doesn't have to be, this doesn't have to be about spiritual aspect of life either. It could be about just life in general, or a particular part of life. Where is that buzz? Well, really the buzz ultimately comes from this kind of energy. It comes from the star, which is that the essence of yourself. Finding out about that, connecting to your higher self, or an energy that is greater than yourself. And that could be the sacrifice. Maybe it's a call to sacrifice the trimmings in your life. I don't know, the fancy trimmings in a way, and really reduce down to the basics, the real simple things in life. For example, with meditation, I tend to use videos off YouTube sometimes, or I'll listen to the, meditation music, when in actual fact, you don't need anything to meditate, but perhaps a chair, or just a bit of quiet. So I really feel that it is about minimalizing. So there's something in your life, I feel that perhaps you're being called to minimalize, and whatever this was, this taking away, this loss, might have sort of pivoted you into where you're at now. And perhaps, the eclipse will pivot you again to maybe an energy of not being particularly satisfied, like a feeling of not being particularly satisfied again. But yeah, 2 hermits, well, maybe you just have to go into hermit mode, or perhaps that's a prompt to do that. And I'm also seeing with these 2 hermits, they're obviously looking to the left, which is, I see as the past, is, looking at, there could be something in the past that has really served you well, some sort of practice or anything really that, so there's a practice that might serve you well, and there's also knowledge that you have learned in the past that will be beneficial to not rehash in a way, but, to remember. That's what I've got. Hopefully that's helpful, Pisces. Cheers.